time is it? It is, gosh, it's midnight. And it is, what day? Monday, so midnight going into Tuesday. I'm just so annoyed right now. That's why I decided to come onto the camera and just rant a little bit. My daughter's friend, who's 15, earlier about 4 o'clock apparently had a fit. She's never had a fit before. She was fitting in the street. Her parents got her back home and they called the ambulance. Guess what? At 11:30, I was texting her and the ambulance have still not arrived. Is that okay? She lives in Whitney, Oxford area. So when I actually just called the ambulance myself, but dialed 99, and they said I was through to the wrong sort of part of the country, that I have to ask for South Central. Anyway, the fact is, the guy said, sorry, I can't help, but there is a bit of a waiting list. And since then, they've sent a text saying, oh, let me just, I can't even read it out because it's on that phone that I'm recording with. You see, this is why I need a camera. Anyway, basically they're saying that it's for life-threatening, priorities are for life-threatening cases. Not being funny, but a kid of 15 fitting for the first time on the street, shaking, convulsing, is that not life-saving priority? I'm not being funny, but how do they know it's not a stroke? How do they know what it is? And how do they know that she wasn't in a very an emergency situation that could have been life or death? They don't know. They didn't even come. 11:30 and their parents are still waiting at home for the ambulance. This is not okay. And the guy said, well, I'm sorry, I can't be of more help. And I just thought, I said to him, all you've done actually is just remind me that I need to get out of this country. I'm not being funny, but wouldn't you rather, in a sense, be in a country that's almost third world and just die on a beach, or die sort of in the street, or get this sort of, I don't know, get not very good treatment, but at least understand it because of the kind of country it is. This is supposed to be a first world country. I don't like to get involved in politics, and because I'm of mixed family, what do you call it? I'm of a mixed family background. I've got Israeli, I've got English, I've got Irish, I've probably got some Arab in there. I've got all sorts, right? And in my actual family, we've got all sorts as well. All sorts, trust me. So I don't want to say anything that's too, I don't know, triggering, but really, this country cannot cope with what it's already got, and it wants to be PC all the time. And so I don't know about the immigration thing. I have to be careful with it because I understand that us English can be really lazy sometimes, and then you get people come from other countries and they just really pull their weight and they do stuff. But I don't know. What's the answer? What is the answer when a country like England, the UK, cannot get an ambulance out to a 15-year-old girl fitting on the street at 4 something, and we're now midnight? They might be there now, I don't know, but at 11:30 they still weren't there. That's 7 hours, my friends. 7 hours emergency. Sorry, we can't. We've got to prioritise life-threatening because the system is overwhelmed, and yet they're still having all these debates and trying to be Mr. Nice Guy about, oh, it's not very PC to say more people can't come in, blah. You know what I mean? Come on, guys, fix up. I don't get it. I don't even know what all the parties believe because I switched off years ago. I don't know what this one says or this one says. I might like the sound of the bit of this one and a bit of this one, but I don't actually care because I think they're all puppets anyway. Really? Does anybody care? Maybe that's a stupid question. The answer is no. And it is quite bleak, right? Because we're in the UK, we're in this life, in this humanity. And as a Christian, I've always believed that God is in control ultimately. So I have to be careful even there. But the fact is, this world, boy, they just use you and they spew you out when they're done. And I don't get it. Literally, the housing is suffering. There's no housing, particularly if you're, say, white British, or if you're just a working person who doesn't tick any sort of boxes of I'm gender this, or I'm this, or I've ticked this box, or I don't know, you've got to tick some funky box and then you might get help. But other than that, get lost. You work hard, sorry, the housing's for people who on the floor. And then when the people are on the floor, if they tick the wrong box, I don't know, white British, got on the floor because things didn't work out in life, sorry, it's for people on the floor that tick a particular box and you don't. I'm so confused. I don't know about politics, but this is just sickening. It's sickening, honestly. And I was actually going to talk about the education system.